So it's come to this, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our 4th anniversary. A day or two late, but it's how I make the rules on it. My channel has officially made it to its 4th anniversary of me doing videos on this platform. For anyone who's unfamiliar with the annual reminder, I started my channel on January 15th, 2020, the day before the final character for Fighters Pass 1 of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was announced by Masahiro Sakurai. I did 2 videos because my computer shut down halfway through the first one, talking about who I most wanted to see, Cuphead and Conquer the Red Squirrel. The following day, after reacting to the controversial release of Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses, as well as the confirmation of Cuphead as a Mii fighter skin, which I had not expected or previously predicted outside of my hopes for him to eventually make it in, the following night, I did a video talking about my frustrations with Byleth in the game and my excitement over Cuphead appearing. What followed from there has spiraled and spun and grown and shrank and twisted and turned and just gone in so many different paths until it finally reached here at 4 years of doing this. I think that's call for a celebration. After my extensively long dissection and retrospective of my 3rd anniversary video, which you can find, of course, in the iCard, I made it over the course of 2023 and now 2024. Over 71 videos were uploaded in that year, over 23 shorts, and a total of 200 videos uploaded to my channel. My subscriber count has reached over 350, and my view count has nearly reached 500,000 views total. Personally, I find that extremely impressive. That really says a lot about how much the channel grew over the course of 1 year. And I, of course, owe it all to all of you. We all do. So no matter when you've been watching, if you discovered us recently, if you joined over the past year, if you've been there from time to time, if you were there in the beginning and then left, and especially if you've been with us since that poor little 15-year-old decided that he was going to try and start talking about videos on this social media platform, not really knowing what he was doing yet, but with a wing and a prayer, really. Know that you have my utmost gratitude for helping us get to this point. I, of course, have a lot to discuss, a lot to go over, results to talk about, upcoming projects, the works, really, like last year. It's going to be slightly less organized as last year's was, because it was much more retrospective as a whole instead of just the past year. There's a lot really to go over. But first, I really think we need to do it properly. In blackest day and misfortunate night, we help those who need our light. The lantern power of Abin Sur, we rid your misery with compassionate might. My name is Paul Westerfield. I am an indigo lantern. I have been doing YouTube videos for 4 years now. Come with me and my demon PAULK and our family as we show you just what our channel and what we're all made of. Join me on this path, if you so choose to. So, I didn't really expect to talk much about this franchise, especially not for an anniversary video like this, since I don't think I've ever covered it on my channel before, at least not yet. But it was worth saying a few words about One Piece for a couple of reasons. One, I have definitely gone back into the series a lot more. Not especially, but quite a bit, honestly. One Piece is one of the few mangas that I ever personally really got into. In about middle school, I discovered it and started reading it. I didn't get extremely far, but I did get through book 12 before finding it too hard to try and locate new copies. And I really loved it. I have very fond memories of it. There are a few mangas or even animes in general that I've really gotten any interest in as much as I did with One Piece initially, and then continued to throughout my life. But this past year has really had a huge effect on me. My dear friend LD for the Tree did a wonderful job in influencing my interest in that, as she ended up starting to really read the series and heavily get involved in it. And One Piece had a really, really, really big year to that degree. As I've mentioned it a couple of times, and I have made the personal decision to have Weekend Deadpool be a swordsman, but practice the technique called onigiri, which of course was created by Roronoa Zoro in One Piece. A three-sword style of one sword in each hand and a third sword clasped between your mouth. Zoro, of course, has advanced to more powerful techniques like the nine-sword technique, but as Weekend Deadpool, I prefer to keep the classic third sword technique, as I think it still looks really cool, and especially conventions, it's a lot of fun to perform. So yes, because of that, Zoro in general has of course become a favorite character of mine, and he has played a big role in developing Weekend Deadpool as a character for sure. I managed to properly see the One Piece live action on Netflix as it came out this year and followed its development pretty closely. I personally was very impressed with it. I really like it. Watched it again recently. I think it holds up extremely well. Much respect to everyone who worked on it. And I'm really hoping it can continue. I would really love to see more because it helped that all of season 1 exclusively covered what I'm most familiar with, which is in the manga, books roughly 1 through 12 and part of 13. And that really, really made a difference for me. I love it so much. I think they did a phenomenal job. But there is one other major piece of One Piece that ended up really affecting me, and that is, of course, the card game. This is a small sampling of what I have, and it's nothing compared to the collection LD has. Let me tell you. This small stack is the I'm keeping these cards. The stack of I don't know these characters and will probably give them away or sell them, for me, is this thick. I have not gotten into a card game like this since Pokemon, but I ended up really, really liking it. And of course, I have to give a personal thank you to my dear friend LD, because she was nice enough to personally give me this card that she pulled late last year of Zoro. And she said, as long as you don't sell it, sure, I'll give it to you because you like that character so much. So that's something I had to show off here. I have some very, very pretty cards here that I quite like. And it's a mix of ones in Japanese and ones in the English translation, because there's only one set of the cards that have them translate to English. Like here's a holofoil Sanji I also have. So no, while I personally can't say I have a heavy amount of attachment to it, all things considered, there is still a lot that One Piece has done for me in the past few years that has really played a heavy point to my life overall and has really influenced me in quite a few areas. I am very hopeful for the future of the franchise, and I felt it at least deserved a small discussion about in this video. But with that being said, it was more something I needed to cover because it did play a part in my third year, whether I expected it to or not. And with that being said, let's get into the stuff you guys really came for. Starting up, of course, with what the 4th anniversary video is officially going to be.
Hello, dear viewers. I've heard so much about all of you. Tell me something. Do you like movies? How about scary movies? Tell me something. What's your favorite scary movie? Ooh, I like that one too. Isn't that the one where the killer comes out of the closet and guts you like a fish? That's my favorite too. What other scary movies do you want to talk about? Why don't we talk about mine? All 6 of them. Just you and me. Oh, don't close now. You close the video. And I'll just add you to the list right alongside Sydney. Come on. What's wrong with just talking about movies? Or could it be because... Who gives a fuck about movies?
For those of you who may be unaware, Gut Reactions is another series I started in my 3rd year. I initially decided to start doing this video, well, really not much of a reason other than just I want to talk about more movies, especially once they came out, because 2023 was a, how you say, volatile year for movies, shall we put it. But I found quite a few I enjoyed, and I just wanted an opportunity to talk about them more frequently, especially as they came out. So, starting with Shazam! Fury of the Gods in February, a little under a month after the 3rd anniversary, I decided to start recording my reactions to them right after and just discuss how they turned out and what I thought about them right off the bat. That first ended up going with my good friends Meme and Big Outs. From that point on, I ended up doing a total so far of 13 gut reactions, each for exclusively movies that came out in 2023 that I saw for the first time and made sure to properly record a reaction to. There were a couple that I never got around to doing, like Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny, that I just didn't feel like talking about or didn't have the time to, coming right out of the film. There were times where it was a lot more difficult than others. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I really would have liked to make one on, but I just didn't get a good opportunity to. With all that being said, I definitely intend to keep going with gut reactions in the next year, as it really was a very fun side series that ended up getting a lot of positive attention, especially with my most recent one about the FNAF movie. I ended up having a wonderful time discussing that with everyone, and I still look back on it very fondly. Beyond that, all that it really comes down to is, one, yes, I'm probably going to do a top 10 favorite movies of 2023 list within the next month. I'd like to have that done as soon as I can, but we'll see. Where other movies are concerned, if you want to see my reactions to movies in general, especially older ones as I try to expand my filmography, there is always my Letterboxd account, which you can go and follow me on. And also, I'm going to be doing another video similar to this one about 2024 movies, which is just going to be in the near future. I'll get around to that one. It's going to be slightly better edited than that one was, but there really won't be much to it. It's more just super rapid fire, yes, no, about upcoming movies, because there's a lot to this year, if all goes well, regarding releases again. The strikes were definitely an interesting part of this year to bear witness to at the very least. A big piece of my third year, I would say, is the increase of video game content on my channel, but especially Let's Plays. I had started my playthrough of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game Complete Edition, before the 30th anniversary, primarily to help debut Logan Emo on the show, and just barely got that done. And then I took a unexpectedly massive hiatus from the game. I ended up experimenting with a few other games, did a Let's Play on the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, picked up this really nice controller, so I quit playing games on my computer with a keyboard, made it through all of Shovel Knight, made it through all of Hollow Knight, and never got around to doing a Let's Play on either of them because that was more a summer activity that I ended up really enjoying. I recently made it through New Game Plus on Shovel Knight for some absurd reason because I felt like torturing myself with that. But I did finally get back to Scott Pilgrim as fall rolled in upon us. The series ended on a very positive note. I was really happy that I finally finished it, as was Logan and everyone else. And it did decent numbers for what it is. Again, I'm still a relatively small channel, all things considered. But I don't have a lot of plans for the future yet, though, regarding this. I'm not great with Let's Plays. It takes a lot of setting up and preparing, but then anything that isn't just me talking to the camera for an hour, it does so. But when it really comes down to it, I don't have a lot of games in mind yet, or at least not ones I really want to sit down and fully play through. But if I start to get some ideas, or if I get some really good suggestions, because I reserve the right to say no to any game that's suggested to me, I might start doing something. Might. Now our next part. Hey, where'd my ring go? Oh no. Hi, PAULK. Thanks for joining us. Okay. It's been a while since either of us covered Epic Mickey. Despite the fact that I had multiple videos announced for it if we hit the viewer milestone in the first video. I haven't just been sitting on my thumbs doing nothing though, especially now with this franchise. I've been learning more, meeting more people about it, discussing it more, really finding the passion that other people have for this franchise still, and it's really a beautiful thing. And it's not like I'm going to stop making videos on it. It's coming soon, I promise. The next video will absolutely be me and Weekend Deadpool discussing Power of Illusion and what went into it and how it affected what place it played in the Epic Mickey franchise. Then I might end up breaking the original rules of the milestones to talk about a few other things, because I've found some other crevices in the franchise that I think are worth discussing. I'm talking things like early articles on the game, beta footage, beta screenshots, gaming magazine articles, merchandise I didn't even know existed for the game. The paintbrush is ours. Paint thinner. We control it now. It may look like an ordinary toy, but like most things that seem to be merely toys on our channel, we have the most fascinating powers. some very interesting stuff. And as PAULK has so kindly now demonstrated for us, I found the paintbrush. So yes, Epic Mickey is absolutely not disappearing from the channel anytime soon. Please don't worry about that. It is such a cornerstone of my third year and how much went into all of it that has really caused the channel to blossom so much. It's amazing. So rest assured, it's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. We're just going to need some time to get more done with it. Please bear with us, and I'll try to have some new stuff for you regarding it in the near future, at least the first half of this year. That's about all I can really offer, but I swear it's going to be worth the wait. Just needed to cover that one. Sorry. Both of us needed to cover that one. Right. So, between my third anniversary in January of 2023 to now in 2024, I did a total of 6 tasting sessions. This included me failing to do the 2023 Voodoo with a very extensive video I had in mind for that before life heavily caught up with me and caused issues, as well as several others that have been really sitting on a shelf waiting to get covered. Drink up. I'm going to try and get to all of these by February. If I can try and get caught up on at least the majority of these by Valentine's Day, then I'll call it good. Just at least some of these I've had for too long. While they're still fresh, I want to get around to covering them. That's about it. Oh, and as far as more big ounce food is concerned, that's up to him if he finds things he really likes. Because those videos seem to do okay. Like all tasting sessions, they don't have really a consistent view rate, and I can't tell what people like most and don't like. If they just want me to cover drinks, if they just want me to cover food, although you can tell me in the comments below. But that is what it is. I'm not just going to like throw out random recipes at him to try and deal with. That doesn't work, and it kind of ruins the excitement of tasting session because it works best the less familiar I am with the food or drink. That's about all there is really to it. Oh, and the mystery one's happening first. Conventions are really cool, and I have been blessed with really getting to experience them a lot more over the past few years. Between my third anniversary to now, I ended up attending 3 separate conventions. It would have been 4, but I wasn't able to go to Fan Expo. My typical rule for conventions, which is more a personal rule that I try to, is I like to go more than one day because I paid for the full experience, but I like to go at least one day dressed as Weekend Deadpool. It helps promote the channel, helps get my original character out there so more people recognize me and recognize him, since Weekend Deadpool, for obvious reasons, is a very difficult character to explain just by looking at him. But one of the coolest pieces about it is that it has resulted in people not only finding him really interesting, but doing drawings of it. Because that's why I attend conventions for. Is for the original art and the other artists. The excitement that comes out of that. So I want to properly finally share some of that with everyone. This is a sketch. These 2 sketches are from when I went to Wicked West in Colorado this past year. And both of them were done separately, were done by separate artists who were very interested in the character, and when I asked for a free sketch, they obliged. And I made sure to tip them nonetheless, but they were still very interested in the character and were willing to do it. This one is by Oi Bob on Instagram, and he just looked at, I posed for him, and he took a personal picture of it, and he decided to write that based on what the name of the character. What makes it so impressive is how good these people are, even from just a look, at getting the character down so quickly, because it is literally just looking at what I'm dressed as, then saying, okay, I can do that. They lit all the lines of his bathrobe. They have the tuck there where the mask goes and the shirt. His hand is here. The 3 swords are here. This is when I started wearing them at conventions. The hat and mask are spot on. It's such a fascinating piece. And it was really, really surreal to see someone else like this do this. It's really something exciting. This next piece was done by Chris Cisneros, who is a cartoonist and illustrator that I've met at a few conventions now. And he was offering free sketches, so I asked if he would be willing to do one of me, and he said sure. And as I stood there for it, this is what he came up with. This one really copied the mask well because of the Deadpool mask that I wear. I love how spunky the ears are. The swords are, again, really well done. For a sketch, I really felt like he did way more than he needed to, or that I expected him to for a free sketch, and it was really exciting to receive. So I will try and get this one better framed, but it was still one heck of an experience. Now, this next one is also from Chris. This is from the most recent convention. Not the most recent convention I attended. This is from attending the Fort Collins convention last year. And this was a very special piece to get a sketch of, because I really wanted him to do another character, and I decided, really looking at his work, because Cisneros' work is phenomenal, I thought if there's anyone I really want to see him try and do, it's PAULK. And this is what he came up with. So for context, I didn't have a great picture of PAULK on hand, so I pulled up the thumbnail to my first Epic Mickey video, done by Master of the Memes, and I showed him that. I asked for something like that, full body, and he just did his best to copy it, and just look at it. Everything about it perfectly captures what PAULK is to me. The paintbrush is beautifully done. Everything about it just truly blew me away. And the fact that I now have this piece framed of my original character professionally drawn like this is absolutely incredible. So again, thank you so much, Chris. This really means the world to me. We have one more to go over. This piece was from another artist that I met in Fort Collins named Shay Cordova, who is known on Twitter as Inky Tortoise. And I took a good look at her artwork. She does chibi style small sketches, like about playing card sized usually. And she was doing $20 commissions. So I really thought about it, and I said, I'd like to see what she can do. So I came up to her, introduced myself, again as Weekend Deadpool, and I asked her if she could do Weekend. And she was really interested in doing it. She really liked his design and was just really open to the idea of doing it. So I just posed for her, put on everything I needed for it, and she said she got a good picture of me and then said, I will mail it to you when it's finished. And this was the result. There really isn't much I can say. Just this was absolutely everything I could have hoped for. I will probably do more work with Inky Tortoise in the future, but I really can't recommend her enough. Was so cool to receive officially, and it really means the world to me. So, Shay, thank you again if you're somehow seeing this. I highly recommend her work if you haven't seen it yet. This was really, really impressive to receive, and it really meant so much to me for such a good price. But no, I'm hoping to do more conventions in the future. I'm hoping to do more elaborate cosplays because I really enjoy playing Weekend Deadpool, but I want to do other characters as well. But when it really all came down to it, I am so, so grateful that I can display these and just show these are what my characters do for me, and that other people take interest in them and can make such fascinating artwork like this. To say nothing for the people who've done work for me in the past. Like, I'm not at all saying, I am not at all diminishing the work that Master of the Memes and Kiren Isabelle and everyone else has done for me in the past, especially with my characters. It means so much to me to this day, it does. And I really, really can't thank y'all enough. If you, the viewers, know of any artists, or you yourself are an artist who takes commissions that would be interested in doing any of my characters, that means me, PAULK, Weekend Deadpool, or Logan Emo. I'd love to have some proper art of emo. Please hit me up or tell me about them, and I'll look into their work, because I would love to have more artwork like this of my characters to try and properly extend them and really experience what other people want to do. And of course, you can try and send or make fan art, but if you have anyone who does commissions of really quality stuff or just wants to improve their work, please let me know about that. Because this is what I go to conventions for, to experience the beauty of all of this and how it brings us together. So I can talk to death about how I want to do this video and I'm going to get back to these projects and yada, yada, yada. But these are just some wrap-ups on a couple of quick ones. The first one, of course, is regarding my series, Profound Paperbacks. Nearly a year ago at this point, I did a poll asking about if people would be interested in me covering comic books that had a pretty big message or meaning to me, inspired by the works of Atop the Fourth Wall by Linkara. People definitely seemed interested enough, so I gave an option between two for the first one, and Simpsons Comics number 39 won out. Sense and Censorability. I did the polls, got that people wanted to see it, made it about halfway through fully recording and editing a video about this comic that featured Logan Emo in it, and at about the halfway mark where it was already approaching an hour, life really hit me full throttle, especially with school finals and whatnot. And the project has basically been sitting in development hell for the better half of 2023. I want to get back to this. I want to properly release this comic because I think it is a very good comic with an excellent story, and I really enjoyed making the video. It was just getting to be overly long and taking longer than I had time for at that point. So yes, by the end of May, I'm going to give myself that deadline. I want to try and have a video on this properly up. So I'm going to at least do my best here. The other big thing is regarding Death Battle. I did my first Death Battle reaction of all time late into 2023, as that very video ended up really getting me into the community, who was just filled with the most incredible people and such fantastic fans and creators. It's been wonderful to try and get to know better, and I want to do more Death Battle content. Even with Season 10 officially over and Season 11's release date unknown at this time, I really want to start doing some more, which is why I did the community post about doing Death Battle Dissected. It's a name in progress. And people definitely shared a lot of interest in me doing that. So starting, let's say, February, March, I'm going to try and debut that series. We'll see if it works out. We'll see how my editing turns out. Yada, yada, yada. We're going to really experiment with that one and just dig down into it and see how far we can get. So that will be an interesting experiment, and we'll see how it goes. Those are like the two big league projects that I haven't already talked about that I want to try and start getting into. And I just want to make sure I caught them here. At this point, I think we've been going long enough, all things considered, and we're going to try and come in and wrap it up in just a few minutes. And so we've finally come to the end of all of this, at least for now. I've looked back on quite a bit, talked about what really affected us, what made it so much better, and so well worth doing. Some of the hardships and sacrifices that come with it. Much like last year, I want to extend a particular thank you. Not just to all of you, but to my friends, my very personal friends, who have kept me going long beyond just my channel, and how important it is to me. Because it is without you. Without you, I wouldn't still be doing this. I wouldn't still be operating like this and managing to make these videos without my friends who have kept me going so far. So I have to extend a very special thank you, very personally, from the bottom of my heart, to LD for the tree, OID64, Nick October, Game Girl, Master of the Memes, a very personal message for this last one. I have heavily praised and expressed gratitude for the works of Kiren Isabelle in the past, and what she has done for my channel, and how she has helped me. Just because your time with someone ends doesn't mean it was never worth having in the first place. Wherever you go, if you see this or not, please know I wish nothing but the best for you. And I pray that you will continue to move forward and grow, and that life will give you its hand so that you may continue to become more experienced, continue to create the things that only you can, and rise above anyone who will drag you down. Sincerely, Paul Westerfield. I, of course, like always, have one last thing before I go out. It's been over a year. And my family right here. The family I've made for myself, my characters, people that guide me. They inspire me so much and really give me new ideas. So I wanted them to each personally get their moment in the spotlight, for all of us to come together as usual and say thank you again for 4 incredible years on this platform that have meant so much to me and have gotten me through so much and really inspired me to grow and do better. I thank you all. I'm not quitting anytime soon if I can help it. So here's to year 5. And then on and then on. Whatever may happen, I'll never forget the memories with all of you. Thank you. In brightest day and blackest night, beware your fears brought into light. Let those who try to stop what's right burn like my power, Sinestro's might. My name is PAULK. I have been with Paul before. before any of it began, before this began, before any of you knew I was here. I am a yellow lantern, and I am a demon of ink, of suffering, of darkness. I am power. I am fear. I am the ink demon. And I thank you all for 4 years of our channel. Ah! Ah! I'll see you soon. Okay. In brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light! My name is Weekend Deadpool, and since Paul officially let me introduce myself to all of you, I have been a part of this family for over a year and a half. And I thank you all for 4 years of this channel. In fearful day and raging night, strong hearts full, our souls ignite. When all seems lost in the war of light, look to the skies. For hope burns bright. My name is Logan, and I'm known as Emo. I've only been part of this family for roughly a year, when Paul personally had me introduce myself. And there's no family I would rather be a part of. It's the only place where I felt safe, where I truly had hope, and where I was ever shown compassion. And I, of course, thank you for 4 years of Paul's channel. For most anniversaries, people do something like a cake or ice cream, just something sweet that is usually dessert and meant for something to celebrate. And this is certainly an anniversary we're celebrating. But I am not much of a cake person, and I didn't have anyone I could share it with this year. So I went for the next best thing, at least something that personally made me very happy, as it's something that is easily shareable and really means a lot. So when I opened this Pizza Hut, I treat it just the same as I would if this was a 4th anniversary cake. Say happy 4th anniversary. And I'd pick up a slice. It's a little hot. And I'd say to all of you, this slice is for you. And me. Here's to 4 years, everybody. We'll see you real soon for many, many more. Thank you.